He can play outside or inside.
Mhm.
Is that the way you feel like you're going to use him this year?
Well, we're going to use everybody. Like everybody's going to have to learn multiple positions.
Right.
Right now, we're still trying to figure out what the rotation is going to be, on how everyone is going to contribute. So right now, he's learning. He's learning all of it. And so is everyone else until, well, as we figure out what skill set guys really have, continue. So we'll just have everybody learn everything right now.
What's kind of the vibe? And you have a rough situation, obviously losing Brandon
Mm-hmm.
before the season, and really, other than Antoine, he's the only guy who played a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, kind of, what's that been like in terms of just dealing with the Brandon, the sadness of that, and then B, just trying to develop some kind of experience
Yeah.
and veteran leadership in that run.
Well, those guys are they trying to make him proud. So they know that they have to step up. They know that they have to. There's some big shoes to fill. Nobody can beat Brandon, but everybody knows they have to step up to contribute. That's a big loss as a person, let alone a football player. So those guys are really trying their best to step up and make sure that they contribute and make him proud. They know he's watching over them, so they're trying to make sure that what he sees is a good product.
Jehazel Lee's a kid who hasn't played defense since high school,
Mm-hmm.
played offensive line, just moved over recently. What are you seeing from him?
Right now, it hasn't been a permanent move. We just trying some guys out, after the loss of Brandon, to see who could contribute. And I think he's doing a good job. He's only done it a couple days. He takes coaching very well. He has a natural takeoff. He's a good kid. He's very coachable. So I'm happy with what I'm seeing out of him, and we'll see what Coach Collins decides to do from there.
He said that he really enjoys it and that he was texting coach like, hey, put me over there, put me over there. Is that something that you've seen from him, that
Yeah.
go get him attitude?
Yeah, and a lot of those kids are like that, but he's definitely like that. He just wants to help. He's a great kid. He wants to help. He wants to contribute in whatever ways possible. He has a passion for defense. He has a passion for football, and that's something he's been wanting to do. So due to him, his performance in developmental offense, he's made Coach happy with, his development over there. So Coach wanted to give him a chance to try something else as well.
Did he come to you guys first about wanting to make that switch?
I'm not sure. I know he had a conversation with Coach Collins. I'm not sure who approached who first, but I know that it was something that Coach had talked about a while back, about giving him a shot at some point. As you know, we have position flexibility in this program. We play guys both ways, no matter who the person is. These guys, if you notice, I don't know if y'all saw today, but we had a couple of D tackles go over and play offense at one point in time. So that's how we roll, especially because not only does it help develop the player, it helps him recruiting. When we tell guys you can come here and play two different positions on two different sides of the ball, we mean it. We put that product on the field.
Is that especially important now when you're changing? The offense is radically changing.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is changing too.
Mm-hmm.
Just there being that flexibility with you guys and with them to figure out where they fit.
Yep. Yeah, I agree 100%. With us doing something new that hasn't been done here in quite a while, I do think that helps when you have guys with that flexibility to be able to help you in multiple ways. Absolutely.
Those guys who are kind of going back and forth, how have you kind of seen them handle the workload? Because they are getting a lot of things thrown at them.
Yeah, the way we practice is tough, so it's the conditioning. The guys are getting better and better every day, every week as we continue to work through with the conditioning aspect of it. But they try to do whatever we say at the highest level. They're great kids. You tell them jump, they say how high off what bridge, and they're going. And we love it. So we're happy with that, and we'll continue to progress as it goes.
How have you seen certain players kind of embrace that change? So I imagine that's extremely challenging to play one position, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, something new.
They like it. At the end of the day, it's football. You run, catch, hit, throw, all that fun stuff, and most of these guys played multiple positions in high school. So they're doing the same thing, but on a higher level. They're big-time Division I athletes, so they've handled it pretty well.
In terms of one of the guys who seems to be getting a lot of quality reps is Digimon.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just talk about what he's done.
He's doing a great job. I'm proud of what he's done with him being quote-unquote walk-on. He has the skill set of scholarship players, Division I scholarship players. He takes the coaching, he applies it, and right now he's above the line, and he's doing everything he can to contribute. So I'm very happy with his progress right now.
It seems like those.
Coach, can you just move like one step closer to the microphone? Not to the microphone. There we go. Perfect. Thank you.
And in terms of just kind of y'all's philosophy, you see Curtis, you see Digimon. You guys are very embracing kind of those guys in terms of making sure that they're I guess part of the. Can you just kind of talk about that? Like,
Can you repeat that, please?
having guys who are walk-ons kind of in
Yep.
the rotation and really kind of embracing it seems like a major a thing Coach Collins is about.
Oh yeah.
Can you kind of just talk about that and kind of how that affects practice?
We
and
do.
stuff?
We don't care if you have a scholarship, if you're paying your own way. If you have the ability to contribute to the team, you can get on the field. And that's something that Coach Collins has proven in our last stop, is that we play walk-ons. We'll put them on the field, and if they contribute for a consistent amount of time, he'll put them on scholarship as well. So those guys are not just here being, tackling dummies or scout guys. They actually have the opportunity to get on the field. They also have the opportunity to get their scholarship, to get their school paid for. So I think that motivates those guys, and then it also helps us in recruiting. Once we get past the point of the guys that we're offering scholarships to, those priority walk-ons know when they come here, they'll have a legitimate chance to get on the field. They'll have a legitimate chance to get on scholarship, and we've proven that.
Sorry, my bad. When you look at the defensive linemen last year, you had big names. You had Henry Santamore, you had Dez, you had Kyle, and they were kind of the ones that were stuffing the stat sheet. How hungry do you feel like these guys are this year to kind of get out there and make that same impact or make a difference?
Very. And you can tell by the preparation. They come to the meeting every day. They're asking a bunch of questions. They're trying to get maximum effort in everything that they do. They're grabbing me, doing extra. Hey, coach, when can I meet with you on this? When can I meet with you on that? And that's outside of the normal allotted time. They're trying to grab me, trying to grab Coach Coleman, and they're trying to do extra. So it shows how hungry they are. They know right now everything is up for grabs. We don't have depth charts. We have guys that are above the line. We have guys that are below the line. And everybody that's above the line will play. So they're trying to make sure that they're above the line. They're working hard to do so.
How do you guys determine, like with a guy like Jahaziel or Connor, we want him to come over and take some snaps with us?
That's Coach Collins. He got a special eye. He knows what he sees. So obviously he's a defensive guy, but he's watching the offense as well. So he watched the way certain guys may move, mentality of certain guys. It was like, hey, maybe he could do this. Let's try him over at this. Hey, this receiver looks like maybe he could do that. Let's try him over at this position. So Coach got a special eye for that, and he tells me to do it. I do it.
In terms of some of the veteran guys, like how's Tay Glanton take into this, or some of those guys, or TK, as a younger guy, what do those guys need to work on?
Oh, well, the buy-in is really good. It's just a difference between the type of front and fundamentals that they were running last year worked for the defense that they ran. So a lot of what we do is a little bit opposite when it comes to the technique. So it's taking them a little bit of time to catch on to it, but they're working. Individual, they take the right approach every day. And like I said, the technique I teach is different from what they've been doing, but they've embraced it, and they're trying to just continue to work on firing off of the ball, utilizing their hands, playing with great pad level. But not that they weren't being coached to do so in the past. It's just that the techniques that I'm teaching them are slightly different than what they've been doing.
One or two more for Coach Knight.
How did Brad Morgan kind of do with his audition?
He's been solid. Yeah, he's been solid. He's been able to do what we asked. Now, obviously, we still have a lot of things that we have to work on, but I love his approach. That kid works, man. He works. Very, very happy with him.
I'm curious. We've heard a lot of kids talking about, and coaches too, about energy and trying to raise that. What do you try to do to make sure that the energy level is at the level you guys want?
Oh, man, I just wake up, man. That's it. No coffee, no nothing. Like, I really feel like I was born to do this. Me playing football was a huge part of my life, but I've always enjoyed helping and teaching others. And on top of that, get a chance for it to be football, and on top of that, get a chance for it to be the younger generation. I feel like it's an opportunity for me to put my stamp on the younger generation and do something and help with something that's bigger than me. So I wake up, it's not even just energy and whatever. It's straight passion that comes out, and I think the players see that, and they want to make sure they keep up with it. They don't want an old man to outdo them, So I run with them, I celebrate with them, I get on them when something goes bad, but I get on them with just as much excitement and passion when something goes good. And I think they feel that, and they try to make sure that they take that same approach and attack it at that level.
And in terms of making the adjustment to coaching interior defensive line, and that, what has that been like for you? Because you've coached kind of all over the defense.
Yeah, it's not an adjustment for me at all. When I first started coaching, obviously I played D-line, and my first 3 years of coaching was D-line before I switched over to backers. So it's something I'm very familiar with. The last place we was at, although my title was outside backers, I worked with the defensive line every single day. So it's not really been an adjustment for me at all. It's something that I'm very accustomed to. It's something I have a passion for. I love doing it.
So you feel like maybe it's a better fit long term for you? that might be.
It don't matter, man. I coach kickers, bro. It don't even matter, man. I just love doing it. Now, obviously, it does make a difference with the fact that I played it. So when I'm telling them something, I can speak from experience. Hey, I know what this feels like. This is how you fix it and keep this from happening to you again. This is how you keep from getting thrown out of your gap or this or that or whatever. I actually have done it, so I can speak on that. The other positions I've learned along the years. I learned from some high-level, big-time coaches. So I utilize those techniques and those things that they taught me as well. You know, so it works either way for me.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Appreciate you.
Yep.
Coach, you've been moving guys around a lot. Are you getting to a point where you have an idea of where guys fit?
Well, we're kind of getting an idea, but, with some guys have been down and been injured, so that's been probably a big reason for a lot of the movement them around. But right here in the spring, we're just trying to get an idea of, what guys are capable of doing. So right now, we haven't solidified anything, but we are finding out more about what we do have.
What's it been like kind of being back and going through? I mean, I imagine this is so much different than probably when you were here, but just what's that been like for you?
Oh, it's been phenomenal. I mean, being here, I'm in my element. I love being out here. I love these young men. I love the Institute. I mean, this is truly a blessing. This is not work. This is something that, again, I can't, it's hard to explain, but I enjoy it. I mean, I don't mind getting up at 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning to come on over here. So, and I can't say that about too many things, that's for sure.
You're learning a lot about the music and the culture.
Well, I got a 25-year-old, 22-year-old, and an 18-year-old. So I kind of, this culture and what they're into, I kind of had to deal with it with my own children. Yeah.
You have a couple of kids in Dominic and Dingle that were able to redshirt but still play some games. How much of an advantage was that for them?
I think it's good, but they were in a different type of defense. So for Dingle, what we're asking him to do was completely different from what he did last season, and also for Jordan. And again, what I like about it is that they are young, and so they haven't created a bunch of bad habits. But at the same time, they have a lot to learn. But they're like sponges, and they give great effort, phenomenal young men, very coachable. I'm enjoying them and looking forward to their maturation as football players and young men.
As far as just the coaching part goes, you were at high school and then with the Raiders last year. To what degree are you yourself kind of feeling your way through and figuring out how do I coach and what are the best ways to connect with my kids?
I think that having that opportunity to coach in high school and then on that other level, and then also my experience as a player is really helped me. Then, recognizing what you need from high school to get to this level, and the guys that go on to that next level. Now I'm in that, it's like a sandwich, and I got the bread. Now I'm putting the peanut butter or the jelly, I'm layering it on. And so I think this gives me a perspective as to where these guys are coming from and where they would like to be and what is going to be exceptional. And it's not so much about the pros, but molding young men, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I came. Football is an avenue to actually provide a form of mentorship. The biggest difference between this and the NFL is I know I got these guys for the next 4 to 5 years. Where, in the NFL, I don't know if I'm going to have to do it the next day. You know what I mean? And so the relationships, I'm enjoying and helping them through the ups and the downs on the field and off the field. So that's been enjoyment, and that's the, I won't say adjustment because I have children. So a lot of stuff that I'm dealing with, the process and getting here, I think prepared me for being on this level.
As far as just like what drills are we going to do today, and is that pretty easy to you, or is there like figuring out a plan for what you guys are doing here?
Well, we're still in a developmental phase. Like you mentioned, I got Justice Dingle, he's a freshman. Got Jordan Dominic, he's a freshman. Curtis Ryans, he's a freshman. Luke Johns, he's hurt, but he's a freshman. I got a converted linebacker that's a defensive end. I got a safety that's come to defensive end. So every day is about development, just fundamental skills. So it's really don't have enough time today for all the drills I would like to do because there's so much of a development that's necessary, needed for them. But over time, they'll get there.
What did Jeff say to you guys? Because you guys are moving guys all over the place. Was it just let's find the best people, and then we'll fill out the depth chart as we go?
Well, we actually, first of all, we don't actually go about it with a depth chart. It's either you going to be above the line or you're not. So, and again, we're a developmental program. Especially now, like I said, with the the experience or lack of experience that these young men I have in my group. So it's really every day is about development, you know. So one guy goes down, it's really going to be the same process because every guy has to continue to work to develop to be the type of player that we need in order to be successful as a football team.
Does it help that they don't have that wealth of experience too, so they're a little bit easier to take to your coaching and what you're trying to teach? Other than Jaquan, really none of these kids play that much, so I imagine maybe they're a little spongy and they can kind of absorb things a little easier and don't have to push out so many bad habits or other habits that are just different from what you guys want.
Yeah, it goes both ways. You know, some days, I'm pulling my hair out because they are young. You know, it's like any young person, that are learning something new. But at the same time, I get excited and I light up when I see we put something together or we've been working on something and they perform it. Like I said, great attitudes, and to your point, yes, they're like sponges, and I am enjoying because they just have certain things they have to get out of, but they work so hard in trying to get it done, and that's what I enjoy. No back talk. I can't say enough about the character of these young men. I mean, their parents did a heck of a job, in the way that they're going about handling the coaching. Some days I'm a little hard on them. Some days, it's a little tough, but they fight through it, and they still come out and continue to work really hard.
Jaquan Henderson's a kid that has a lot of speed, a lot of potential, but he's trying to keep that weight on. What do you see from his potential?
Well, he's like I said, he's very fast and coming off the edge, and he's still, again, continue to work on different techniques and things of that nature that we'll need. But we'll find out once the season starts just how, or depending upon who we're playing, where he'll fit, and what his role will be. But right now, he's just continuing to work, and he's doing a good job at that, continuing to get better, and he's showing a lot of flashes of that speed. So it's going to definitely be helpful. You can't have enough speed on defense, that's for sure.
A couple more for Coach Coleman. We'll get Coach Knight in.
A couple of the players mentioned that they actually like moving around across the defensive line. How have you seen your group of guys kind of embrace that?
Well, that's the thing. We're challenging them to learn more, and then how much can you handle? That kind of is a way for us to find out what type of young men that we actually have, what they'll be able to handle as we go into the season. I like because that was the first thing to start off with. You're going to be in different spots and want to see if you can handle who can handle it. And it helps us to know what we can put on specific guys as we prepare for the football season.
And you talk about this group being very much still in that developmental phase, but has there been a moment over the past couple weeks where you saw this one guy and it just clicked in their head? Has there been a moment like that for you?
Well, they've all had moments. Again, they're like, because they're young, so it's been, I don't want to say they're developing. So, they have their moments where they all have shown flashes of looking phenomenal. And then, they have those moments where, okay, yeah, you're a young player that we still got to work on now, though, that specific thing. So I would say for every one of them, they've all had a moment where they've shown the reason why they're scholarship football players, but we have to continue to work and get better, them and also me. I'm still young as a coach, and I, make sure that I keep myself humbled and recognize that we're all growing, But yeah, they've all shown some really good potential at times, and then sometimes, they look like freshmen.
For you, is there something either like just something that you do in your job a lot that is very satisfying that kind of confirms I'm so glad I'm here, or there been something that's happened to you or a conversation or whatever where that's really kind of confirmed for you, I'm glad I made the decision to come back?
Really every day I come in the building, and just see those young men. It's really bigger than what's going on the field. Having an opportunity to be in their lives, share my experiences, listen to theirs, be it, sounding board. And then coming out here in the football field is just fun, It's just like I said, just walking the building and seeing all these young men, not just the defensive linemen, but all the players that represent where I once walked through. It makes me proud because of the type of young men. I can say that the previous staff did a heck of a job of finding great character young men, and it's really tough to find a player on this team that you can get a bad word about the actual kid. So it's been good.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
Can I ask one last one? You have a freshman from Europe on your team in Sylvain. Kind of what's that experience been like for you, and kind of how's kind of his adjustment going?
Sylvain is working extremely hard to try to get it. I mean, he has not only the barrier of just not having played a lot of football, but then also English. You know, we learning the culture. You know, so. But I'm on Sylvain just as hard as I am on Jordan Dominic. I don't lighten up on him just because of that. But I do understand that he's doing another great character, young man. All he does is take it and keep on moving and continue to work. And like I said, I can't say enough about the work ethic of each and every one of the guys I have in my position.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, thank you.